Hey there, Mrs. Williams here, and this is question 4.2.B-9. It says a city planning commission recently voted to restrict the size of home remodels by limiting the floor area to lot area ratio to a maximum of 0.35 to 1. Under these guidelines, A, what would be the maximum allowable size of a remodel on an 11,800 square foot lot? So the key to this first question, actually the second part as well, is to really understand what this ratio is indicating the 0.35 goes to and the 1 goes to. So we can go ahead and put them in a fraction. And it doesn't actually really matter which one's on top or bottom. Usually the first one goes on top, but it shouldn't matter either way as long as you set it up correctly. But what we want to pay attention to is whatever comes first here is going to match up with what it's describing first over here. So we want to read this carefully. We want to understand what the ratio is talking about. So we're talking about the size of home remodels, and here is the wording that goes with the ratio itself. So we're limiting the floor area to lot area. So when you see that 2, that really is, well, over here it's also written out the word 2, but you can also, it might be the colon, if they had it written like this, 0.3521. That's how this is spoken, is the word 2. So that's kind of the key to look for. And so the floor area is going to be associated with the 0.35. So we can even write that in our fraction just to remind us of that. It's supposed to be an R right there. And then 2, lot area. So the 1, since it comes after 2, it's associated with the lot area. So we want, on the other side of our fraction here, we want to make sure that we keep that consistent. So when I write my amounts over here for part A, I'm going to put the amount for the floor area on top. Those R's don't want to look right there. And then the lot area would be in the denominator. And like I said, if you had switched the 0.35 and the 1 around over here, that's okay, as long as you're keeping the floor area associated with the 0.35. It should still cross multiply correctly. So let's read part A. The 11,800 square foot lot. Okay, so pay attention to what is the 11,800 that goes with the size of the lot, or the lot area. Square feet is indicating an area. So I know that I want to put the 1,800 down here because that's my size of the lot. I am looking for the size of the remodel. The remodel is worded differently, but it's really talking about the floor area of the home that's going to be on the lot. And so the floor area is what we're looking for. So I can put an X there. And then I can just cross multiply. So 1 times X would give me 1x, or just x, and then I'm going to multiply the 0.35 and the 11,800 together on this side. And in this case, because the ratio was 1 in front of the x, I don't even have to divide anything. I can just go ahead and multiply 0.35 and 11,800, and that's going to give me 4,130, and that's my floor area. Or I could say square feet. And that's actually what is given here. So that would be the better thing to write, but just realize that that is the floor area. Area is in square feet. Okay, and this will also be the same ratio. This ratio that we set up here is going to help us with part B. The only difference is in part B we have different information. So we just want to make sure that we're lining everything up according to what the 0.35 and the 1 are associated with. So this is floor area, and this is the lot area. I just still can't get those R's to stay. But anyway, in part B it says what size lot, okay, so right there, that's our x. What size lot? Well, because the denominator is associated with our lot area, we're going to put x down in our denominator for the lot area. And then the 2,950 square feet, that's our remodel size, which would be the floor area of the home or structure that's going to be on that lot. And so that's going to be in the numerator. And then from there, again, you can just cross multiply. So we're going to get x times 0.35 and 1 times 2,905, which would be 2,905, and then the extra step here that we didn't have to do in part A would be to divide by the 0.35 so that we can cancel that out and just get x. And that would give us 8,300. And if you think about it, that makes sense because the floor area is going to be a smaller number than the lot area because 0.35 is smaller than 1. So over here, just kind of, visually check it, say, okay, this is a smaller amount than my x value, 8,300, which would be down here in my denominator. So at least ratio-wise, that would make sense, that this number should be smaller and this number should be bigger. So I hope that helps. Let me know if you have further questions.